Hello guys, today we continue our quest to discover scary tales from all over the world. In this video we'll be visiting a land steeped in myths and legends. Some of them are modern, some of them are ancient, but all of them are feared by the people who know them. My name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 scary Mexican urban legends. Starting off at number 10 now, we have White Death. The White Death is said to be a vengeful spirit in Mexico who hunts down anyone who knows about her existence. If this ends up being true, I'm sorry to drag all of you guys into it. She's said to be an undead girl with cold black eyes that weep blood. She glides but never walks and stalks her victims like wild animals, chasing them back to their homes. Then she waits until night and knocks at your door. One knock means she wants your skin, 2 for your hair, 3 for your bones, 4 for your heart, 5 for your teeth, 6 for your eyes, and 7 for your soul, which she will swallow whole. At number 9 now, we have La Lechuza. According to legend, she was a witch who used magic to turn herself into a giant white owl. It's said that she sold her soul to the devil to become more powerful. Sometimes she appears as an owl the size of a human being, with the head of an owl and the body of an elderly woman. She is said to wait outside the house of her victims, crying out into the night until they step outside. Moving on to number 8 now, we have the Phantom of the Park. In the small city of Yarel del Progreso lies a park called the Benito Juarez Park. It's built on the remains of an old forgotten cemetery. The locals say this disturbed the spirits of the dead there and unleashed a deadly curse. Every night the benches were vandalized and nobody knew who was causing the damage. The city hired a security guard to patrol the grounds. One night, around midnight, a dense fog emerged and crept out over the park. The guard heard the cries of a woman and then he saw her, a shadowy figure lurking near the park benches. It looked like an old woman in a long white dress. When he got closer, he saw she had no legs and was floating above the ground. Then she attacked him. He managed to escape and told his boss the very next morning. A few days later, he died of a mysterious illness. Locals have accepted the Phantom of the Park now, and they know a mysterious illness will fall upon anyone who sees her at midnight. Next up at number 7 now, we have La Malinche. This story dates back to 1522, when the noble Aztec woman La Malinche had 2 sons with the Spanish conquistador Cortez. He told her he was going to return back to Spain with his sons. She had a dream where one of her gods appeared and said, if you let him take your children, one of them will return and destroy your people. The night before Cortez departed, La Malinche escaped with the boys. Cortez's soldiers chased them to the lake on which Mexico City now lies. Just before the soldiers captured them, she stabbed the boys in their hearts with a dagger and dropped their bodies into the water. She screamed out into the night, saying, "Oh my children." In the century since then, many Mexican families have reported seeing her ghost wandering the streets at night, grieving the loss of her children. The families lock up their kids for fear of her doing the same thing to them. Next up at number 6 now, we have La Planchada. In the 1930s, a nurse known as La Planchada worked at Hospital Juarez. Her name roughly translates to the Iron Lady. She fell for a doctor, but he left her for another nurse. La Planchada was distraught and fell into a deep depression. She deteriorated and eventually succumbed to an illness which killed her. Legend says that she returned to the land of the living with a hatred for all nurses. Ever since then, she walks the corridors of hospitals at night, caring for patients while they sleep, but ready to release all of her anguish if she comes across another nurse. At number 5 now, we have the Red Car. This legend tells of a group of witches who travel the roads looking for men at night. They're also known as the Carriage of the Witches. The Red Car travels between Mexico City and Cuernavaca. The passengers are 3 witches disguised as beautiful women. When they see a man alone by the side of the road, they pull over and try to get him inside. If the man accepts, he is usually found sometime later, lying lifeless by the side of the road, battered, bruised, and with strange arcane symbols all over his body. It's thought they're sacrificed to the devil as part of an occult ritual, and the car is red only because of the blood of the victims. Moving on to number 4 now, we have the Tube House. This is an abandoned mansion in Monterrey, Mexico. It was built in the 1970s by a family of 3 who wanted to make a comfortable place to live for their daughter who was in a wheelchair. When the parents brought their daughter to see the home for the first time, the little girl fell off one of the ramps and went straight through a window, falling to her death. The parents were obviously distraught and eventually put the house up for sale. In the years since then, visitors have sworn they have seen the ghost of the little girl. They always see her standing there in the same window she fell to her death from, waving and smiling forever. Next up at number 3 now, we have El Cucuy. According to legend, El Cucuy is a small, hideous, hairy creature with deep glowing red eyes. He has ears like a bat and a mouthful of teeth as sharp as daggers. El Cucuy comes out at night to steal children away. Some say he can take the form of any dark shadow, which he uses to watch children as they sleep. Once the child is asleep, El Cucuy will pounce and take them away to his lair. Children will hide in their wardrobes or under their beds just to avoid him. He is essentially the Mexican version of the boogeyman, or perhaps the very same person. Alright, moving on to number 2 now, we have Chupacabra. This is a story of a strange beast that blurs the lines between fact and fiction. Some describe it as a vicious, furry, lizard-like creature with bulging red eyes, fanged teeth, and a long, darting tongue. Its name roughly translates to goat sucker because of its tendency to prey on goats and other livestock. The animals it attacks are left with every ounce of blood drained out of them. What kind of creature would do this? Is it something natural or not? And finally, number 1 now, we have the severed hands. In Mexico, some people say there exists the Alley of the Hands. In 1780, a priest set up in the town of Alfalfa in Mexico. He hired 2 local boys to help look after his horses. One night, the boys returned to the house to find the priest had been murdered, lying in a pool of his own blood. They ran to get help. The police couldn't figure out who did it and began to suspect it was actually the 2 boys. After intense interrogation, the boys began to blame each other. They were put on trial and found guilty. They were then hung by the neck and their hands were cut off. The hands were then hung on the wall of the alley outside the priest's house as a warning to others. Ever since then, people have been afraid to walk through the Alley of the Hands. Whenever they do, they make the sign of the cross and pray. Locals say that on a cold, dark night in November, you can even see their skeletal hands floating above you in the alley. Alright guys, that is that. And now I'm going to ask you the very same question I ask in all of our urban legend videos. Which country do you want me to do next? Or perhaps you would like to see me do a part 2 to a country we've already done. The choice, as always, is totally yours. I am Danny Burke. Thank you as always for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.